Alright, we are live. So, if you haven't seen part one or the other parts, go watch them. I'm a different breed when it comes to awakening, and I need to tell the truth to you about what awakening really is. Cause I'm like, for the past couple of days, I've been in awakening state, aka manic state, that doesn't allow me to go back to a timeline that I'm used to doing these old habits. And it's like, how the fuck you not gonna let me access my old frequency to calm myself down in this dimension? Like, do you not know that every time you are awakened, when you're awakened in the day, when you're awakened in the matrix, when you're awakened in the dream world, when you're awakened in other dimensions, it gets a little hectic. And I myself experiencing this throughout the whole entire time, entire journey. At some point, there's a level to it where it exhausts you, but those exhaustions are your push point. They are your pinpoint to align yourself with your higher. Now that you're higher, now that you're in a higher state of mind, you gotta walk through the fire. You gotta be in that dimension where your higher state was awoken at originally. And not the trauma that originally woke you. The trauma was just a spanking. It really was. And when you get all of this combined, this is, by the way, this is entertainment purpose only. Viewer advised. Hopefully you can understand that this is what's happening to you. Hi, welcome on in. I like your name. It's pretty. But anyway, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand why do certain things gotta push you to the edge. The edge is like the card of, if you're a tarot reader card, like if you like tarot reading cards, it's like the fool. You're being fooled by what the knowledge you know until you become the hermit or the high priest. The high priest and the magician are almost exactly the same energy. So one is pushing you forward to your imagination, bringing out forward to what exists in your mind. And the other one is pushing you inward to bring outward. One is telling you, and the other one is not telling you. You have to peep the signs of when something is telling you to leech on to that path, and when something's telling you to leech off that path. And when you're getting triggered, you're supposed to use the emotions to quantum jump. Quantum jumping is like going to a different universe than this current universe. You're still in this present universe, but your mind is somewhere outside of this universe. So when you quantum jump, you are actually taking a part of you that was belonged to this matrix outside of this matrix. And it's kind of crazy because when you go outside of those boundaries, there's a borderline between in and out. When you're in between in and out, there are no ancestors, there are no guidance, there are no frequency, there are no vibration when you come in and out. in between. So you have to figure out, like, is this really real? Is this really me? Is this all that I have? Is this all that I can accomplish and succeed? The Matrix put you on a loop that you are comfortable in. You putting yourself on that loop, that pedestal, not the higher pedestal that you see yourself in. You're visioning it all day long, like you're sitting on a throne with nice clothes, nice gown, or whatever the case may be, and you're above all the standards that you came with in this earth, and then something triggers you, something pushes you out of that state, out of that comfort zone, thinking that this is you, this is what it is. No, it's not. We gotta separate the illusion from the imaginary, because sometimes demons or outside sources that is not in line with our agenda can hijack the peripheral field. If I'm saying that correctly, if you know what the peripheral field is, like the Taurus field, the Taurus constellation, but it's much more bigger than that. It's what creates the galaxy. It's what creates your dimension, the peripheral field, what you see in your perspective and feel from your perspective. If you can't feel, if you can't see, you're not an NPC, you're not woken yet. It's like you're in between. It's not really being in between of duality consciousness. It's more so that you're finding yourself gathering all the information, becoming one. It's so sad to talk about. I know Jimmy has died and we'll miss him very much. About that, he was a portal. Him and Malcolm and all the others was a portal. It was the ritual from the Illuminati opening the gates of hell. Because if I tell you the demons that are latch on to them, it would shock you about you. Because if you're connected to that timeline, to that frequency, then don't that mean you believe in the same belief that he did? And I'm not saying the belief that he believed in was good or bad. It's just, why can't you stick it to the man, stick it to the higher self, and go based off your own frequency, your own vibration of what you believe? And a lot of people don't recognize that they need religion to have a belief system. You don't need religion or anything that's already man-made for you to believe. You need something outside of you, which is you, from a different dimension, to understand your frequency. How do you know if your frequency is calling to you? Do you ever feel like you was connected to a certain timeline, to a certain celebrity, to a certain like entity? This is what they do. They subconsciously program you into your unconscious, into your subconscious, then to your consciousness. Then your consciousness begin to believe your subconscious of what has been programmed by, and it ascends from what it's programmed by. You're ascending only in dimension, and only in of that dimension. You're only ascending in one place. But if you can imagine yourself ascending all places, you become somewhat like Neo. Neo is the type that ascends from all places, that can see what all generation is lacking of, and it accomplish what it lacks of. This is what you are here to do. This is what you are meant to do. And if you don't believe that you exist, something else will, and it will show you that you exist. Until you gather all of the data that you needed for you, it will come back and haunt you. It will come back to collect a debt. In order for you to receive that debt, you must pay that debt by acknowledging that there is a version of you that exists with this awakening, this journey. It's a powerful journey. It's a journey that you cannot see, but it's a journey that you can feel that you are on. You're feeling it. You need other people who can see it. You need other beings that can see it, not necessarily people. People are just NPCs. People who are walking in spirit are the original, like, there's level to it. You can call them God and goddesses, but there are some people who are walking in between NPC and being the God and goddesses. I myself, I originally, like, adapt to that because when you're asleep and when you're woke, something happens to you automatically. It's an automatic system. Something that drives already within you to already know this knowledge, to already seek this knowledge. But like when you get there, you don't know how to really react. It's not a reaction when you get there. It's about action when you get there. When you get there with action instead of reaction, things pop off. Things kind of include and intertwine with the timeline and frequency that you're trying to vibrate from or feel. Vibrate is the feel. Vibrate is not an emotion. A frequency is an emotion, but vibration is you can say feelings, but at the same time, how do you feel before you vibrate? Something gonna trigger you to vibrate highly or vibrate lowly. When I'm in my lower state, that's when I manifest. I manifest everything before I get to my higher state. I know when I'm in my low state. I know when I'm manicking. I know when things are triggering me. Like right now, I'm being triggered and manic. I've been manic for the past 2 weeks. That's why I haven't been on here. When I'm manic, I don't really try to come up here. But this is the dark part that people don't understand when you're in enlightenment, that there are stages that gives you there. Back in the day, back then, it used to be a whiff and a flash. You won't know when you're awakened, when you're not awakened. You just be up or you just be down. Now it's so obvious to the point where you gotta fix it. And this is the timeline that most people don't want to jump, is to their lower self. If you jump to your lower self, you become your higher self. If you go through the fire, you become the diamond. You cannot just become the diamond because you envision it. You saw yourself there, but how did you saw yourself there as a diamond? Diamonds don't just get produced for no reasons. Diamonds get produced because they're in heat of pressure. They're the heat of knowledge. Something within them is triggering them to become a diamond. To become something that push forward, that makes you feel better about yourself rather than just being of yourself. You feel better, but you won't exactly be yourself. When you're in this limbo, my best advice is just to go through it and see what the outcome really is. Because that outcome might be the greatest outcome than you can ever imagine, ever accomplish, ever feel, ever see. they always say men have sight, but women also have sight too. Men get it from the women. Men is from the sun, women are from the moon. The moon is the embodiment of the sun. It can glow any type of way in any luminous. The sun had to stay in one type of spot to illuminate, to create. So it does it through the people. It does it to those who are awakened, who gets downloads, who gets dreams, visions, who are clairaudience, who can hear, see, feel. And when you're a supernova like myself, and you get triggered by all of this, you're wondering how the hell do I reciprocate this, like, information? When you embrace, when you slow down and think about it consciously, don't let it, it's like being in a lucid dream. You know you're lucid and wide awake, but you don't really necessarily know you're dreaming. You just know you're in this reality, in this other world, until you react inside of that reality in that other world. It responds back to you. What happens when Gaia and this earth responds back to you? You tend to get a little crazy, a little cuckoo, a little off the clock, off the matrix clock. But now you're on your own frequency, and you're on your own timing that you built in your own system, in your own cells. Your cells can build time. How do you build time with your cells? By saying, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do it this way at this time, and I'm going to see it only in this way at this time. Because that's the only time I can do it. I have other missions to complete. I have other frequencies and vibrations to fill. I can't just keep staying in this one vibration. That's what depression is, right? Depression wants to make you depressed. And the opposite, it's not making you depressed. It's making you awaken. It's making you realize the opposite, the obvious. I don't know why I said obvious. obvious is, however I said it at the beginning, it was weird. But the thing is, you gotta accept what you are seeing. You gotta accept what you are feeling. A lot of times we don't accept and see what we are feeling because we know that the matrix program us to feel that way. And we try to go out of the bounds, bend the will of the matrix to make it our own willing. In order to do that, we have to tap into our own willing to bend the matrix, to bend what you see in reality. Like, if you had my eyes, if you had, like, my ability, then you would begin to see what I see. In order to do that, you kind of have to come into what they call, like, I call it the Neo consciousness, but like, because the Neo explains it better, the Matrix movie explains it better than the Christianity version. It's like, it's knowing, it's know thyself. Like, when you're in that knowing, or in that flow state, it's hard. It's not hard. It gets easier. The only thing that gets harder is, like, not understanding, not knowing that you feel this type of way, or that you see yourself this type of way. And a lot of people can say that they're not in of this frequency or vibration because they have no clue what's guiding them. They think it's Sky Daddy, but it's not Sky Daddy. It's their own consciousness guiding them to where they need to be. When I listen to music and I listen to the message of the music, what these artists are saying, I'm like, they're coming out proudly with what they are witnessing. Like Beyonce, Jay-Z, for example. I always give this example because that's where my journey first started, by listening to them. And then when I started listening and turning on in, I realized that they're not broken, they're awakened. We want them to be where we are so that we can get to where they are, but it doesn't work that way. In order to get to the status where they are, you have to think higher and above one's reality. You have to but when you keep, you release. So when you're keeping those memories, those visions, and you see yourself somewhere, release it by doing it in action. That's the best way I can describe it. If you release it in action, not let it be stuck in your mind. So when you let it be stuck in your mind, it's like you're putting a signal out to the universe saying, I want this, but I don't want this. I want that, but I don't want that. You can't suggest to the universe. The universe suggests to you. Your ancestors suggest for you. It asks you, do you want something better? Do you want something greater? So learn what's best and learn what's greater for you. In the end, you can accomplish. You can arrive to your destination. But I don't know. I still get stuck in between being in the human consciousness and my godly consciousness. The only time I recognize my godly consciousness is when something triggers me and I don't let it consume me. I flow with it. I let it teach me something that I can't recognize before. Oh, maybe this is too much. Maybe this is not enough. You won't know when something is too much and when it's not enough until the universe shows you the sign. And when you look at the sign, that's when you have to go as a god and goddesses. Or the creator, the creation of the manifestor. You're a manifestor. Like OR. Manifestor. Like when that scene when Harry would be like, oh, I'm a wizard? Like, yeah, you are the wizard. You are the magician to your reality.